Welcome to episode number 62 of Unbuckling the Bible Belt podcast. I'm Joe Kendick.
I'm Kate the Bluegrass Skeptic.
I'm Sharon Bush.
And this is Adam Fusen.
How you guys doing today?
Welcome back, Joe, man. Last week's threesome was totally awesome.
Yeah, I hate that I missed it. Sorry, I was busy watching my wife bring an amazing child. Actually, the doctor did. The doctor chopped it out of her. But I have a kid. It's pretty fucking amazing.
Chopped it out of her?
She's a,
nice.
I mean, well, it's what he did. He wouldn't let me watch either, dude. He got one incision in. It's like, Father, put your head back behind the curtain. I'm like, wah, wah. But that was kind of, I got to see him make the first big incision. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, I'm biased, but my kid's fucking gorgeous, guys.
I saw a picture. She's pretty unpotato-like. She looked like a potato there for the first
few days. She looks like you.
I know, isn't she gorgeous?
That's you all over.
Shit.
That's what gorgeous should be.
My mother's gonna... You goddamn right. You goddamn right. So, yeah, pretty excited about that.
Congratulations, my man.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks. I haven't been sleeping much. We're having to feed her, like, every 3 fucking hours, so that's pretty awesome.
Little bellies. They digest
faster.
faster.
I took the week off from work.
Is your wife breastfeeding, or are you...
Well, yeah, but she's not producing enough, so I have to supplement with formula while she's breastfeeding, so I have to hold up, like, it's like a syringe with, like, a little plastic tube out of it that we insert in her mouth as she's nursing, so it's like a two-man job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't handle lack of sleep very well, so it's killing me.
Yeah, I remember those days. Glad it's you and not me, buddy.
And I don't care what anybody says. Boobs are still boobs, whether or not a kid's nursing on them or not. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They're still boobs. I'm still like, boobs.
That's hilarious.
Whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's sexualizing breastfeeding? No, I just see boobs. I see boobs.
What's an amazing thing that they can do? They're amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty... Yeah, they're pretty awesome things. I mean, they can literally stop me in my tracks and make me stupid for like 10 minutes, depending on the size, shape, and severity of awesomeness.
So, I have been told that if bad things happen, like let's say you have an argument or you're having a disagreement or you break something, I always was told, this is by one of my former lovers, he's like, just show me your tits and everything's okay after about 10 minutes. So, apparently, you just corroborated what he's claiming a little bit, I guess. Or at least it makes you forget about it for a few minutes.
It's mainly true. Yeah, your brain rewires and you think boobies and your penis starts going, hey, boobies, and then you're like, no, and then you get this whole thing going on, but it's going on at like light speed, but still, it's an exciting time. I love how we went straight from my kid to boobies.
Well, your kid needs boobies,
excited about being, it was me. So glad to be back, glad to have a child, especially in these awesome times where people are raping girls and the church says fucking kids is cool and everybody wants to kill gay people for some goddamn reason. So it's a good time to be back.
Yeah.
I'm really...
Hey, welcome back to the world, my man.
Good time to bring somebody else into it.
Yeah, good times. It's good to know that progress is being made out there.
Oh, I feel so depressed all of a sudden. Well, this week sucks, guys. We got a lot of bad news going on, and we're going to jump into that here shortly. Yeah. But congrats, Joe. Your daughter is absolutely
thanks,
gorgeous.
Guys.
So, what's the reality that you've come into, Joe, coming back today? What are we covering tonight?
Babies shit a lot. Oh, sorry. She's talking about reality. Babies shit a lot.
That is true.
That is your reality for now.
Yeah, but I haven't shied away. I hit all the first 10 poopy diapers, so it's pretty cool.
Wow.
The Tari shit was interesting with the, what's it called? The
Merconium?
Yeah, Merconium. Yeah, that shit's like fucking tar. Holy shit.
Yep.
You could spackle walls with that shit, literally.
Yes. You can make glue with that shit.
You really could. I mean, at one point, I almost had to scrub her ass to get it off. I'm like, dude, give me a toothbrush or something. She's like, you can't use a toothbrush in a child's ass. I know that. I'm just saying it's really hard to get this off. That's all I'm saying.
And there's not really a good trick to it. Really, it's just one of those things. And you know what's even worse? We're talking about glue. There are certain cultures that save that shit for special ceremonies and crap. It's gross.
What?
Yeah, I'll have to get you a link for it.
The first poo, they saved the first poo?
The meconium, that particular poo, yeah. It's disgusting.
Oh my god.
They use it for, like, rituals and
I guess
shit.
you could use it to, like, waterproof a kayak or something.
Maybe.
Oh, that's what they make
boat.
that
Oh my
spray and
God.
seal
Like
out
pitch?
of. Always wondered.
But wait,
it's so
there's
wrong.
more.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I got to see the placenta. That was pretty cool. They kept it though. They weren't gonna let us take it home with it.
Oh, you
Yeah.
didn't
You'd eat
fry
it,
it
I
and
think.
put it in a capsule for you and your wife to ingest at a later
I've
date?
seen them. I've seen them fried up before, and I heard about the capsule thing, but hers was kind of fucked up, so they
wouldn't let
they
you keep
decided
it.
to keep it.
Well, and I mean, some people like to bury them, like, and then put a tree on top kind of thing, and they do that,
Oh, that's
too.
it. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's nutritionally dense as shit. So
Mhm. Well, it's filled with
That is just
shit.
gross to me.
Yeah.
That is just, the thought of that is repulsive.
But with gross, we also
Nature's
have
beautiful, Maya.
so much gross behavior, like you were talking about, going on in the country tonight that we're going to kind of jump into. And yeah, was it there? You got the Catholics lobbying against a bill in, was it Pennsylvania? I think it was Pennsylvania, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, where they don't want to.
pretty sure.
They don't like the fact that the state of Pennsylvania finally pulled its head out of its bureaucratic ass and realized that people usually need more than 10 years to decide if they want to file charges against someone for sex abuse, especially if they were a minor when it happened, you know.
And I just don't want to live in this planet anymore. I mean, seriously, we've got lobbyists. We got people being paid to lobbyists to slow down the progression of when somebody can file a sexual assault claim against a religious institution brought on by the same religious institutions out there. I mean,
And then we've got that judge, who, I'm not even going to name this kid's name, but we have that wonderful judge that decided that if you're with a prestigious university, which means you had to have had a good reputation and a promising life ahead of you, and you get drunk and rape somebody, that is now no longer an offense you're going to go to prison for.
You just go to county jail.
Yeah, for 3 months instead of the 6.
Oh.
Yeah, for 3 months instead of the 6.
I mean, and this is a no-brainer, man. I mean, we've got people going to jail for, you can get 3 to 6 years in jail in Tennessee for having an ounce of marijuana, but you rape somebody over here in this state, and you go to jail for 6 months. That's
so long as you're going to
stupid.
a prestigious college like, Harvard or Stanford. This totally won't apply to someone going to community college. Only if you're going to prestigious college. For real.
I will say this. Let's give a shout out to Nashville, because when this same situation happened at Vanderbilt, that kid got 25 years. But, of course, he's also an African-American.
Yeah. Oh, now wait, Joe. They still have yet to put the white kid up on trial for his run. His is coming up soon.
Yeah. I think the other two pled out. And Corey Beatty's there, and the girl's actual boyfriend, like Brandon Barden, I think that's right.
I think
his trial's up, but he'll get less time because he's white.
Oh, of course. Because we have a systemic
That's
problem where
how
we don't apply law equally in this country. And then, of course, we'll get into more of that.
And when you step back and you look at the biggest thing that's going on in this country, who the fuck takes a poop where?
Yeah.
And you might be able to charge for a crime for that versus 6 months for an actual rapist, an actual pervert who saw somebody just, I don't know, passed out, laying around, almost fell over, and just decided to take her clothes off and give it to her.
Hey, props to the two Swedish guys, too. That's how you human being right there.
Well, and then we want to talk about how we human being in this country. We also have the Orlando shooting last night at Pulse nightclub. And we have what looks to be from I think it was San Francisco, the Pride rally, the Pride parade events they had going on. It looks like they prevented another tragedy from happening from a young man that they stopped.
I think that was WeHo.
Early this morning, they stopped somebody, and apparently he had guns, he had chemicals in a bucket that you could make an improvised explosive device. He was ready, and he even said he wanted to hurt. And this dude's out of Indiana. So we're going to be
that's
talking.
Where I was born.
We'll be talking about those religious extremists tonight as well that have really made headlines over the last 24 hours on pretty much every spectrum you can think of. So welcome back, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, it's good to be back on such a joyous occasion.
God damn, we got too much to talk about.
All right,
we'll get to the
jump into this shit.
I need a cocktail.
Go get your whiskey, man. Go grab a beer, people, because we're gonna wallow in our sorrows.
I'll be back in a second.
Step on in, folks. We're gonna have fun tonight.
See you in a few.
Guys, there are two names that are going to go down in infamy, I think. The first is Brock Turner, and the second is Aaron Persky. I'm sure we all know who Brock Turner is.
Oh,
he's the Stanford swimmer who got 3 months for raping a girl behind a dumpster.
Yeah, actually, no, I don't think we should call him Stanford swimmer. I think we should call him the rapist. Just fuck that. Don't give him anything. He's a fucking rapist, and fuck that guy.
He's a sexual predator.
Fucking face.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a sexual predator. And Aaron Persky is the judge who handed down this light sentence because he said he thought that a harsher sentence would not do well for this young man, that he would suffer unduly with a harsher sentence. Yeah. I wonder if he was thinking about the suffering of the victim and the potential victims that will be available in 3 months whenever this dude gets out of county jail.
Yeah, no shit.
I mean,
county jail.
You know? I mean, I just can't. It's just ridiculous that people can walk down the street and be busted and get 3 to 6 years in jail for having weed on them, but here this asshole trust fund baby gets 6 months for assaulting a girl, and that's what he did. And we're worried about bathrooms. I just can't. Good Lord, I just want to pack up and move.
Well, I will say this: Judge Persky is not the only one in the last couple of years who's made headlines with giving out these types of sentences. If you all remember, do you vaguely remember? I forget the teacher's name, but he was handed like the equivalent of a month in jail for essentially he had sex with a minor, statutory rape. The girl eventually killed herself, and the judge gave that guy only a month. Now, I think they recalled that judge, and I believe they recalled the sentence and resentenced that gentleman. I don't remember. Now, and so Persky's not the first, but Persky, I was reading up on, he had a hell of a day. It wasn't just Turner that got off easy that day.
Yeah, he had let some other people off with light sentences that day too, and then he had given out some harsher sentences for lesser crimes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the deal was.
Maybe he's on the marijuana.
I don't know. Marijuana. But I do know that Turner's mom and dad and sister all wrote letters to the judge, and I'm sure that had some impact on what the judge decided.
Yeah, let's just analyze that statement for a second. His mother and sister wrote a letter on his behalf about someone he fucking raped. Are you fucking kidding me?
If it were my kid, I would have disowned him and thrown him under the bus and written the judge to ask for the harshest sentence possible.
Yeah, but from another standpoint, you can just step across the border into another state, and all of a sudden somebody who's been charged with rape gets 15 to 25 years. But but what I don't know. Joe and I live in Middle Tennessee, and we're following the Vanderbilt stuff kind of closely. It's kind of always on the TV. But one of the kids already got 15 years for rape.
Yeah, as you should have.
No, absolutely, and I think that's a standard.
And I'm sure it's not in county jail.
Yes.
No, he got
it's
federal.
In prison.
Yeah, he got prison. And same situation. She was drunk, and they I mean, there's a lot more video evidence, obviously, but like, you know, the 4 kids went out. It was one of the tight ends' girlfriend. They went out downtown to a club. She got fucking hammered. They came back. I mean, I don't know what was planned before. They might have had a 4-way plan. You know, people are into that. And but she passed out. There's video of them dragging her down the fucking hallway, and they fucking raped her while she was passed out from intoxication.
And they recorded it, and they've got evidence on this. And there's, you know, this girl was not. There's no way. There was no consent. There was no consent. But still, it's the same situation. You see a girl who's falling down, passing out. You try to get her home, and get her to bed, and lay her down, let her go pass out. You don't do any of that fucking shit. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I have no quarter for rapists whatsoever. Murder, I understand. Rape, I don't
And
understand.
it doesn't matter how much you teach your kids, because I'm all about teaching kids from the moment that they can hug their grandparents about consent, whether they want to hug or not. You know, I'm all about that. But whenever you're drunk and you're passed out, there's no way consent can be given. So all the consent talks in the world that you can have with a little girl about saying no and when she can say no and how to say no are all a moot point whenever you're drunk and passed out.
Yeah, but there needs to be another conversation that goes on against even, you know, the children of everybody, for men to boys. There needs to be consent, you know. They need to understand that, you know, once a girl passes out from too much Boone's Farm or Mad Dog or cheap beer, once she's passed out, that's it. You can't go no more.
Well, I mean, I think that has to be a conversation that's had at home. I mean, as awful as it sounds, you have to blatantly tell a young man, you know, that it's a no-go whenever she's passed out.
Yeah, but
you can't touch her.
Yeah, but there just comes a point in the kid's time whenever they're not around parents. They'll be at Panama City Beach. They'll be wherever they're at in the backcountry. And the beer drink is going on. And there just needs to be a conversation of, hey, you know, whatever happens, happens. If it's consensual, it's fine. You know, we'll use protection. But if she passes out, that's a no-go zone. You just put her in your car and you just get her home as safe as you can.
That's what a gentleman would do.
Yeah.
That's what a human being would do.
Huh?
That's what a human being would do. A human being, a normal functioning human being would be like, okay, well, this person obviously is fucked up. I need to get him home safely. Whatever, go home. I mean, what?
Yeah, but whenever something does happen, the religious society says, "Oh, well, it's the girl's fault for putting herself in that situation." No, that's bullshit. I've passed out before in some places,
Secular
and I've never
communities,
been raped.
all communities do that to women. The secular community is infamous for doing that to women too. I just want to make that out there kind of clear. They blame women all the time too. We have a very patriarchal type of society where everything is still our fault. We get pregnant, it's our fault. I see this on the secular community and the religious side of things. I see both sides of this one. Women get thrown under the bus. Both sides of that one. Big time. That's huge in my book. It's not just the religious. It happens across all ideologies.
Women are physiologically able to be raped at any time. Adam said it doesn't happen to men when they pass out. They don't get raped. Well, men usually don't pass out. Well, you have to have some sort of consciousness in a man to rape him. I mean, you don't just pass out with Woody.
Bullshit, you don't. And as I can tell you from personal, and no doesn't always mean no when a man says it. And I have a very good friend of mine, and we had to have this talk because she was all up in my Kool-Aid. I mean, I found her attractive, yeah, but I wasn't going to fuck her. And you can pass out with a fucking hard-on. I hate to tell you that, but you can totally pass out with a hard-on.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can wake up with a hard-on. You think it happens just, you know. We get like 5 or 6.
I know you can wake up with them.
Yeah, you can pass out with a hard-on easy. You can pass out driving an automobile. You can pass out with a hard-on.
Yeah, but
well,
you know, everybody knows that their child is going to party. And that's what I'm getting back to, you know.
Well, my kid may not party. I didn't party.
And, you know, if you party hard, fine, party hard. Just be safe. Don't drive. Be careful when you're texting while you're walking these days. Whatever these crazy kids are into. But you just got to say that, once somebody's passed out, they've had too much, there's no consent. Then you
draw a dick on their forehead and you put them to bed. That's what you're supposed to do. That's all you're supposed to do. That's the only time a penis should be involved in that situation, is if you draw it on their forehead for passing out first.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
That's
well,
it. That's
I
the only time that should happen.
Come back to this about this judge and all. I mean, do I think the parents have to completely disown their kid? Of course not. Should they be giving them undying support and trying to get them out of the trouble they're in? Hell no. I think it's something that some folks, I can't fault a parent for loving their child. I'll fault a parent for being in denial about the absolute evil thing that they've done and trying to make excuses and make light of it. I will absolutely condemn a parent for doing that. As far as consent, consent's tricky, especially when there's drugs and alcohol involved. I think you cannot have legalized. I don't think you can have solid consent if both parties or even one party is under the influence of anything. I just think that when you start getting alcohol involved, you're treading a very fine line. Very fine line. You get drugs involved, you're treading a fine line when it comes to consent. Because that person...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the fine line should be drawn at the moment somebody passes out. That's it. It's over for you.
I don't know.
Push the car home.
I kind of agree with Kate that there is a fine line whenever anything, alcohol or drugs, are involved. Because at that point, I mean, it's like Joe said, if you can drive a car, you can get a hard on. Well, if you can't drive a car, can you consent to anything?
Yeah. Can you rationally understand? You might understand you're going to have sex, but the ramifications midway through, or you're flirting with this person, you're getting horny and whatever, and they seem like they're good to go, or they said, let's do this, but then once they're out away from their friends and the crowd and the alcohol is really hitting hard, they might not really be capable of making that judgment even though they're still awake. I think that's something, it's very situational. People, it's really hard to get clear consent. And it's just one of the, I think it's easier as you get to be older. You can kind of read that stuff. But when you're young, that girl could still feel pressured into going ahead and doing it anyway, even though she clearly doesn't want to. And I think that women need to understand they can assert themselves. And we need to be educating men that, hey, this is just how it is. Sometimes they're going to get you hormones raging and going, and right when you think you're going to get it in there,
you're
going to be blocked out. Whether they're awake or not, and exactly. Hell, do it before you go out, is what I say. Get that off your brain before you get out. It'll help a little bit.
You can jerk off as many times as you want. It's not going off your brain.
Oh, I know. I'm 39 and I can as much as I want, pretty much. But it's something that my biggest beef with this is that it's not so much the enabling of the parents. It's not the enabling of society as a whole with the way they're blaming, the girl. And for me, it's this judge set a very, very terrible legal precedent. He just made first-time rapists who have a prestigious background like Stanford or Yale or Harvard, who have a clearly good character. Because Stanford usually, and these places, Yale and whatnot, you are the creme de la creme of people, okay? This is not only is it a biased standard that they're applying, but they're saying if you have these factors involved, you'll get a one-time pass. That's what they're saying. That's what this judge decided. Forget the fact he did not follow the law, the minimum standards of the law. Their only exception he can make is like true, defined, undue hardship of some kind, where it's like cruelty beyond what's due to this kid. Clearly that circumstance was not met. And so this judge just...
Sorry, I was listening to NPR.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
There's a way to change it. Even if there are minimum standards, there's judges... Shit.
They'll recall.
Well, never mind.
They'll recall him. They will recall him. They've got a recall going on right now. That's what they did to that last judge. That judge, the guy who had gotten that light 30-day sentence for statutory rape after the girl had killed herself from, embarrassment and guilt and shame, and he still only got 30 days, this teacher. That judge that gave this dude the light, he was recalled. And I believe they brought the other guy back in. I think they were able to throw out his judgment. And I'm hoping they can do that with this kid, but I don't know how or if that would work.
Well, I had read that they had started a petition to recall this judge, but I hadn't read.
They have to get
else.
I forget how many signatures they got to get, but they have to certify all the signatures. I think it's at least 10,000, and then they'll run an election.
He had just gotten reelected 3 days after. Of course, he ran unopposed, so it was like an automatic.
Well, he won't now.
Yeah.
He's gonna have all kinds of people stepping up wanting him out. Because I gotta say, that's something that unifies a community is when something like this happens. They don't want someone like that at the head of their community at all. This dude's gone. I mean, and there was this domestic abuse case before the Stanford kid, Brock Turner. There was a domestic abuse case where a woman was literally beat, almost unrecognizable, apparently. This is according to Democracy Now! They had a case on here that Michelle Dauber was talking about. That's one of the professors that's putting together this petition. And I'll have links to this petition for anybody. I don't know if we can sign it or not for the state. We probably can't, but I'll get the information out there. I know we have some listeners in Pennsylvania. But this one was beat, almost unrecognizable. This same judge, Aaron Persky, gave the assault guy 2 weekends in jail, and he made sure it would end in time so he could still make it to work on Monday. The abuser. Beat this woman unrecognizable.
That's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Well, women
so
don't mean
it's
shit.
something
they're proving that right now. That to them, women don't mean shit.
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
And
I don't know what his values are, but to me, it sounds like I wouldn't be surprised if they start evaluating this guy's actual attitudes, and he probably has a feeling of somehow he victim blamed, somehow she earned it, somehow she deserved it. That's probably where this dude's going to be going with this judge. This is probably his mindset.
So. That's kind of the angle that
I'm serious. What other mindset can there be short of, well, it's just a woman? He's going to basically, I really feel like his attitude is they kind of brought it on themselves. They contributed to this somehow, blah, blah.
Well, that's the typical religious standpoint.
Well, it's not even a religious standpoint because that's a standpoint in secular community too.
Oh well, okay. Let me back up. From what I've seen, whenever these type of situations happen within a religious organization, it's always it's a hate the sin but love the sinner type situation.
Yeah, secular people do it too. Unfortunately, there's a lot of patriarchy even in that's why patriarchy's all around the world still. Obviously, our country's better than most on that level, but we still have our moments that shine brightly that make us realize we still need to be vigilant and make sure we're holding our society to better standards for women here. And this is one of those instances.
God, which we suck at, man. I can't tell you how many times I go down the street nowadays and I see all this defund Planned Parenthood's bumper stickers on cars these days. I could count them out. It sucks.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers need some damn.
Yeah. But it's a lot of enablement within society. And it crosses granted, you'll see a lot of it in religious ideology, but secular ideology is not free from this type of enabling behavior and line of thought and treatment either. These kind of gender bias that you see, gender role stereotypes. We still have a ways to go. And I think this case kind of reminds us all to really look closely at how we judge others and, how our officials treat others. And it just should make you think about who you're voting for. You know what I mean?
And if this guy... No, I was just going to say, if this guy was running unopposed, he probably thought he had carte blanche to do whatever he wanted to do because there was nobody there to hold him in check. There was nobody...
In my defense here, I did not check his previous case history prior to his election. So I wonder, does he have previous cases, a previous history of this kind of behavior? And if so, then yeah, he figured he had a carte blanche. Absolutely. I don't know. I haven't read his other case history. I plan to, though. I want to know more about this guy. A lot of these judges that do this, they've been doing it for a while, a long while. It's nothing new. It's just, for whatever reason, certain cases end up catching the public eye, and then the whistle gets blown. Like, what's going on here? What are we doing? And I have a feeling this is not the first time this guy's done something like this. I bet this isn't.
No, of course not.
I bet it's not.
No, of course not. And it's an affluenza thing. In this situation, I guarantee you it's an affluenza thing.
I agree with Joe on this 100%.
Because, if it was a kid from a regular college, like community college that did this shit, he would have thrown this kid away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? It's because this kid was at a prestigious university. So you already have bias right there. A prejudice going on right there. Big time. This is WASP
I'd be curious to know
at its finest.
Oh, it is. It is. I'm curious to know if it had been a black kid from Stanford raping a white chick. Well, it depends. I guarantee you it would change. If he raped a white chick, it would be worse than if he raped a black chick. Because that's, white people are obviously, white women are worth more than black women are. And,
well, unfortunately, the United States still has a three-fifths attitude, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. No shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
At least in our Bible Belt, they do. You still see this three-fifths attitude.
I understand that no one's completely unbiased, but goddamn, don't make it, check yourself before you...
Be biased because somebody was wearing Adidas instead of Nike, not because of their haircut, or their skin color. I don't know. It's just like, oh, you use Photoshop? I use Corel. Ew. It's like, we all have our judgments against people for using, certain things or certain preferences. But this is just like, this is straight up white privilege going on right now. White male privilege. Rearing its ugly head.
Speaking of judges and fucked up political shit and whatnot, can we go ahead and look at this Catholic Church lobbying bullshit that's going on?
Absolutely. But you know what? Let's all take a break. Let's let our listeners kind of...
decompress.
Yeah, decompress from this horrible mess with Stanford and what's going on with Brock Turner and this horrible... Really, it's about this judge. For me, it's more about the judge than the rapist. I don't mean to make little of what this kid did. They should throw the book at him. It's disgusting. Yeah. For me, I'm looking at an even bigger picture of what this judge has done. Right. To me,
and the bigger picture
this judge should be in jail too. It's terrible. This judge just made it okay to rape somebody as long as you're white, going to a great college, and you're drunk, and it's a first-time offense.
I just hope he gets the fuck beat out of him in fucking jail. I hope somebody will punk his ass anyway because he's a fucking swimmer. It's not like he's a real athlete. So,
hey now.
Speaking of ass fucking, stay tuned, folks.
A swimmer's bill is not going to help you in fucking prison. Being able to swim is not going to help you in fucking prison. I hate to tell you that.
Well, speaking of mounting, we're going to get up and mount this thing like a Catholic priest on a 5-year-old boy. Here we go, folks.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're terrible.
All right, everybody, get ready. We're going to be wading into some more enabling behavior next.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Welcome back to Unbuckling the Bible Belt. This is Adam Fusen. I want to talk about some disgusting motherfuckers in robes. All the worst of the worst.
Disgusting motherfuckers.
Might need to be more specific because that could also be the Klan.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Or those old guys at the old guys at the gym who let their balls get dried. You just walk around.
The ones with the pretty robes. The Catholic Church.
Oh, those guys. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The robes that were white. They got
the Catholic
stained with
Church.
Children's ass blood.
Oh God, are you gonna shut up? So apparently,
I don't know. I might.
So apparently, the Catholic Church. Oh God, it's like.
Sorry, this is a depressing ass episode, man. I'm trying to lighten it up.
Okay, let's chill out. Okay,
All right.
You can sing your song in a second.
All right.
But apparently, the Catholic Church is paying a bunch of lobbyists a shit ton of money so that they can limit the amount of time somebody can prosecute them for raping a kid. And I really don't even know where to go with this. But let's go ahead and start with Joe's song.
Are we going to do it? Really?
Yeah, do it.
Well,
do the song.
Wanna be a Catholic, gonna fuck me a bunch of children. Wanna be a Catholic, gonna fuck me a bunch of children. I can't. It's so wrong. Catholics come from the Pope. I can't do it. That's too fucked up. I can't do it.
You did a good job in the
I know,
pre-show.
but the moment's gone. The moment's gone. Sorry.
Oh.
We should just
so
write
this is
that.
where we're
I'll
left
write
at.
that over the week and we'll do it.
Yeah, so anyway, a bunch of rich douchebags who like raping children are lobbying in Congress right now to limit the amount of time that a person can come in and file claims against them for fondling them or touching them or, whatever the Catholics do these days. Which is pretty damn disturbing. This is, I love this country and I love the laws that we have placed, and I love how a lot of stuff can progress and become great for the country. But I cannot believe there's people taking money from Catholics to say it's okay to limit the amount of time a boy can file a claim against them fucking them. I mean,
I think they're trying to set it at 10 years too, aren't they?
Yes, pretty much.
So if they fondle a 6-year-old who isn't able to talk about it until they're 16, and then they want to press charges, it's a little too late for them.
Yes, if a priest decides to fondle a child at the age of 10, and that child continues to grow, being fondled and probably scared to death, and if he doesn't file a claim by the time he's 19 years old, then he's pretty much shit out of luck.
No, I'm pretty sure it's from the age of, not accountability. What's the word they use in legal terms? It's
age of consent.
Age of
consent.
Not even consent. There's a term for it. I forget. But essentially, when they're 18, when they're legally recognized as no longer a minor, that's when the clock starts rolling. That's when the clock starts rolling.
Well,
but
that makes
still,
that would range from state to state.
It does vary state to state, but it's 18. I will say this, though, from state to state, it does vary. This particular happening really hits close to home for me. Just, I don't know about the rest of you. I don't think we've all ever even talked about this. I know I'm a sex abuse survivor from childhood. What about any of you? Have you all been fortunate enough not to be through that?
I had a cousin one time did some stuff to me, but
I used to I don't know, I'll say I knew exactly what I was doing with an older person at about 15. I knew I instigated it, and yeah, but no, not as far as I know. I've never been assaulted or anything, abused or whatever.
Well, for me, this really hits close to home. I was a very sexually curious
child, so.
Yeah, I was too, but part of it was because of the fact I was molested early on. But I will tell you that, for me, seeing Pennsylvania recognize the fact that these statute of limitations are not reasonable and that they need to increase the limitation time, extend it, I guess would be the word, I think is wonderful on their part. I hope other states will seriously consider this. People... It's like for me, in the state of Ohio where I grew up, I had 12 years from the age of 18 or whenever I was declared independent by a court. Like if I went to court at 16, which technically I was independent at 16 because I got married, I had until the age of 28 to file charges against my parents, against my dad.
You were married at 16?
Yeah, they signed me off. That was the deal to let me get out of the house. So they signed me off. Nice, right? I'm an only child.
That says about me, but that was the part I was shocked by, not the fact that you were molested. That says a lot about me.
Yeah, no, they signed me off at 16. I'm an only child. It was easier to get rid of me than actually deal with the problem that my dad had caused. But essentially, from that moment when I turned 16 and got married, I had 12 years to file charges against my dad. Now, most people think, 12 years, yeah, whatever. Well, when you're young and immature at 16, and when you don't realize how the abuse plays off in your personal life later. I didn't really understand just how much my dad's molestation of me affected me, probably until the last 6 or 7 years. I finally really get there's certain things I just cannot bear anymore. Don't want it to happen. If it happens, I'm so creeped out, it's over. There's certain types of relationships I avoid because of what my dad has done. And it's too late for me to do anything. I don't think that's fair because I kept trying to keep a relationship with my parents up until I was 31 years old. You know what I mean? There's so much involved that I don't think it's fair to say, well, if you don't take care of this by the time they're 28, too fucking bad. I don't think that's fair because sometimes you don't realize the damage. You're in denial because of all the damage you're trying to recover from. You don't realize how bad the damage is. That man owes me. He owes me. He took so much from me. And I thought Ohio was bad with just 12 years. State of Oregon, you have 6 years from the age of 18 to file charges. Or if you don't realize you're hurt, from the day you realize you have an injury, you have 3 years. How fucked up is that?
Wow.
The average 18-year-old that gets out of a bad situation like that, you don't comprehend the damage done. You don't associate the two together at all. You really don't. So I applaud Pennsylvania.
I want to point out the fact that just like the bathroom laws that are going on, which piss me off to no end, it's not people going around who have been subjugated to sexual assaults from a family member or a religious, member. They didn't file a lawsuit to be able to extend the amount of time they can file a claim. It's people coming in trying to block from the amount of time that they can file that claim. It's that reverse order of attack first, and against something that's not even there that could possibly hurt them. And it's ridiculous. But they go hand in hand to me.
Well, you understand the rationalization. Do you all understand why they have a statute of limitations? I'm sure a lot of you, most of you probably do. What the purpose is behind them. In civil court especially.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
The whole point, civil limitations make sense to me, okay? Civil makes sense. The problem is when they make criminal charges limited to. That bothers me. And their attitude is, on the criminal side of it, these people shouldn't be subjected to looking over their shoulder for the rest of their lives. You know what? Fuck you. You should look over your shoulder for the rest of your life. You should. Because that's your guilty conscience. That's your guilty conscience. That's not worried about me showing up and ruining your life. That's your guilty conscience haunting you because you won't just fucking admit what you did and pay the price for it. That's what that is. But yeah, that's why. Their attitude is, it's cruel and unusual and not just punishment if you wait 20 years. Then why are we prosecuting Nazis who are 92 years old? I'm sorry. There's a reason
crimes
why.
Against humanity. That's different than raping a child, which is a crime against a child. Oh, wait, they're not human.
Apparently, yeah, because millions of lives. I mean, I do agree. I'm not trying to make little of that. But my attitude is, if you cause a loss on that, you should have to pay for it. Now, if I'm sitting there sending my dad texts, and this is not true, I'm just giving an example, but if I were to, every other week say, you better give me this amount of money or I'm going to file charges. You better do this or I'm going to file charges. That's criminal. I can't be allowed to do that. Either I'm going to prosecute him or I let it go. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I didn't realize what my options were until it was too late because I didn't realize the kind of damage he had done to me until it was too late. And that's why I think they need to change these laws, especially for, crimes like this, for sexual assault, for physical assault. These kind of things, they need to have. Personally, I think it should be unlimited, but that's me. I don't think there should be statutes of limitations on these types of cases. I really don't. I'd throw my dad in jail in a heartbeat.
And here's the thing that we could be having a clear and concise conversation with even people who lean towards the right about these type of issues.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to see a child hurt or sexually assaulted, but when you look down to the category on the ladder of where this stuff comes from, is it starts out with family members, and then it usually consists off of people that in church.
Yeah, you're going to lose your whole community.
Well, that's because that's
about protecting kids. Then let's look at the reality of these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you have these priests that are against extending the liability of these sex crimes and, abuse going on. And they're enabling. They're just as bad as this judge we were just talking about.
It's because
they're
God's
enabling the
them,
abuse.
It's just like the lobbyists who accepted their fucking money to say, okay, we'll try to put some laws in place that limits the amount of time kids can file claims against you for sexual assault.
Oh, they already have limitations. They already have limitations in Pennsylvania, and they're extending.
Yeah, but they're trying to restrict them even more.
Well, I mean, some of them don't even know that. Sorry, I was going to say, you've heard of there's a couple of priests that said, "Well, I didn't even know that was against the law to have sex with a child."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
how can you not know that's against the law?
Exactly.
I mean, that's And ignorance is not a defense anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they've done everything they could to postpone the vote. There was just so much, basically it eliminates this new bill that they passed that goes to the Senate now. Like it said, it eliminates a legal time limit, I think, on when child abusers can be prosecuted for future crimes, and it gives victims of past abuse more time to file civil lawsuits. I've not seen how they're addressing the criminal side of it. Right now, it's just to sue civilly. I know criminally, I think you can still file charges, but they'll pretty much tell you can't do anything, and your only recourse is civil. And so now they're just trying to protect their pocketbooks more than anything. It's strictly a money protection deal is all it is. I know that it's because if they extend this like they're planning on doing, the church is in deep trouble. They're going to lose a lot of money. A lot of money. Because they're going to have so many people come forward, which they should be able to. I mean, I know people who are 60 and 70 years old who were molested, and they're still part of the Catholic faith and community. And when they go to file a charge, they know they're going to lose everybody around them. So you have peer pressure. You've got pressure from the church lobbyists. What do? You need somebody on your side. You don't have an advocate at all.
Hey, money over bitches, baby.
It's disgusting, but that's exactly what they're doing. But I just wish communities could step forward more, but it's still an embarrassing and dirty thing to talk about. I mean, there's certain crowds I'll get into. It's like on this show I can talk about my abuse a little bit more in certain, my Tri-State Free Think group and in my blogs. But there's some areas you start to talk about, you can just tell people it's still a taboo to even speak on this kind of abuse. It's a taboo. People don't know how to process this because it's such an ugly underbelly of humanity that nobody wants to address. And then you have these churches who keep that taboo feeling about talking about it. And you saw, like, with the Duggar family, with the brother who molested his sisters, they completely took away the victims' rights to express their anger, their pain, to validate what they went through. And they focused on healing the brother who was fucked up.
And did you see where he wants his own show now?
Yeah, I saw. And I mean, technically, the way they look at it, and a lot of Christians look at it this way, your pain is God's pain. It's how they translate it into. So all that pain she felt, embarrassment and shame, that's God's embarrassment and shame, not yours. That's bullshit. They completely dehumanize you. And that's what these lobbyists do. That's what legislators like that judge with Brock Turner has done. He's completely dehumanized and dismissed the experience and the pain that the victim's gone through. And that's what these lobbyists are doing. And at least the state of Pennsylvania is trying to give people the right to own their pain and go through their own process to deal with it and not be subjected to the limitations that basically protect people from being scared of consequences because they're not human enough to step up and go, I committed a crime. It's messed up. It really is. Sorry.
No.
It's really upsetting when I see these kind of things. And it really hits close to home for me. Not just because it's a church deal, but in a big picture, the legislation that Pennsylvania is trying to push through, this isn't just for sex abuse victims of Catholic priests and other clergy, even though these are the motivators behind it. This is going to apply across the board for people who've suffered from sex abuse. And I want to see this happen. I wish this was like a federal statute, but, they won't do that. But it's just something that I really hope that the Senate will still pass it. Even if they trim down from 50 years to 30, I still think that's fair. You know what I mean? Something. Because this stupid 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, this is not fair. Because you don't have an advocate on your side when you're a minor. Let alone how many people have an advocate for a car wreck when you're 18, You have your parents' advice. Most people don't go through a lawyer. They end up letting it all get taken out of their hands and let the insurance agencies deal with it. And it's even harder when you're a sex abuse victim and you're 18 and you were abused when you were like 10, 11, 12. What do you do with that? Who do you turn to for help? You're not going to automatically get a lawyer pro bono that's going to go file all this for you in court. What 18-year-old knows what court to go to? What forms to fill out? What 18-year-old has the money to file and have enough to mount against, the defense? Because you've got to prove what they did, not the defendant.
Much less work or try to educate themselves or pay for insurances or cars and any type of future for themselves.
Yeah, but most 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, they can't even figure out how to go vote. How the hell are they going to figure out how to mount a case? Oh, people go, we'll go to the public prosecutor. Well, if it was 8, 9, 10 years ago, good luck with that. The public prosecutor's probably not going to want to help you. You know what I mean? Because it's an old case.
They're so overwhelmed with everything. I mean, have you seen the I was just thinking about the conditions that the public prosecutor and the public defender have to work in. It's crazy the amount of cases, the caseload that they have.
Yeah, and if it's a 10, 11-year-old case where you were 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old like me.
It all comes down to money, ladies. I mean, they're trying to block off ambulance chasers from coming around the corner and jumping on the child abuse claim chain to Catholic churches. But here's the thing: if you look past that, they're being sponsored past not just Catholic churches but Protestant churches as well.
Oh yes, Quiverful movement, all of them. I'm sorry, I see these girls who go and they get subjected to FGM, and it's just like they didn't know. It was so long ago. Many of these cases, they can't prosecute their parents even if they immigrated to the U.S. and are now citizens. And let's say this happened overseas. They still cannot sue their parents. I'm sorry. These girls who get cut, they should be allowed to sue their parents. I don't care if it happened in the States or not. If you're now an American citizen and your parents perpetrated harm on you, you should be able to sue the fuck out of them and throw those son of a bitches in jail.
Well, just take notice to the fact that it's not about any type of prosecution time. It's about who's liable for what. And the churches want to be out of that liable situation because they know they can be hammered on it. It'd be like Penn State. It's like Penn State times 200.
Yeah, exactly. It's horrendous. And that's why they did the 50-year extension, because they realized how many people are finally having the courage to come forward because there's now support. Nobody had support. You would get so much shit from people in your community if you tried to throw their favorite, whatever you call Catholic priests in the priesthood in your churches, bishops and whatnot. You catch so much shit for trying to throw those people in jail from your community. You have nobody to support you again, and you have to try and come up with evidence in a case. And what do you do if your parents couldn't defend you? So I think it's wonderful. I hope other states will take Pennsylvania's initiative. Now, I think they're trying to figure out if this is constitutional, though, right?
I believe so, yes.
The 50-year extension. They're trying to figure out if it's constitutional. I mean,
right.
I'm not surprised the church is trying to get out of this. I'm not surprised they're trying to enable this behavior. We've seen this behavior from the church. But I think anybody that supports the church and saying this is unconstitutional, they don't need to be in office next season, people. They really don't. They do not need to be in office. Anybody that supports the lobbyists in this, take down their name and make sure you smear them everywhere. They support criminals getting away. They're enabling blah, blah, blah. Go after them. Make sure they never see office again. Really. We need to educate the public on this stuff. It's horrendous.
Maybe a good dick punch. Good dick punch.
At a minimum. Some of them need a cunt punch.
Punch them right in the dick. Punch them right in the dick.
Yep, exactly.
I'm so anti-Catholic Church, it's ridiculous. And here's the fucked up thing about the Catholic Church is, as far as the main theistic things go in Christianity, they're mainly pro-science. They have certain things about them which are nice, and then you fuck kids and then you cover it up. What the fuck is wrong with you? I've got all my friends that are sending their kids to Catholic school, and I'm like, dude, they give money. They spent $4 billion last year covering up kid rape. Yeah, but they're good schools. And I want to say, I hope your kid doesn't
I know, man. I've been there. Oh, my God. St. John's. Oh, Jesus. God almighty. It's all the time.
But
they have good schools. Great. I hope your kid doesn't get fucking raped.
And you know what? What good is that good schooling if your child is suffering from sexual abuse and you want to be in denial of it or not handle it appropriately? That education doesn't do them a bit of good because they're going to be me. They're going to be struggling for years trying to figure out what's wrong and why. And then by the time they figure it out, they're fucking 39 years old.
Well, the worst thing is being the kid that wasn't hot enough to get fucked by the priest. I mean, look at your self-esteem.
Oh, God.
I can't go there.
Sorry.
Joe,
but I will say there's a very, very good advocate for this extension. His name's Mark Rossi. He's a Democrat out of the Pennsylvania House. And he gave a 90-minute account of his own being groomed and raped, along with some of his friends. And how some of his friends even later killed themselves by some of those Allentown priests. He gave a 90-minute detailed account of all that. And a lot of people...
But it doesn't matter, Jeebus.
Well, a lot of them took it, and what's interesting is that a lot of police got thrown under the bus during this hearing because it's obvious that the police have been, working with these priests to just make it go away, by encouraging priests to pay people off and make it go away because, they're a charity, they do this for us, they do that for us, and all of that kind of stuff. And it's just something that I really hope this HB 1947 keeps moving forward. And I will say, one of the people that sponsored this bill was a Republican. And I give kudos to Ron Morisco for championing alongside a couple other Democrats with this bill. I mean, they want to treat sex abuse like murder, where it can be prosecuted at any time. Okay?
I'm for that. That's why I think sex abuse and rape are worse than murder. I think they are. Because that leaves the person alive to fucking suffer forever until they fucking die. That's why I think it is worse than murder. Murder just kills you for a minute. You're dead. You don't know shit. Sucks for everybody else, but for you, it's fine. Rape and sexual abuse lasts until you fucking die. I mean, I can consider myself a pretty terrible person on a lot of things. But Jesus, fuck. I mean, I don't even like kids. I mean, I've got a kid. I like her. But what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
And how could you fucking sleep at night knowing that you're enabling people to do that to children? Oh my God, are you fucking kidding me?
It's like you're a mercenary, basically. It's you're completely neutral, is what you are. Is all you are. It's all you are if you're enabling this kind of stuff. That's why I'm pro-murder.
Fuck those pieces of shit.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes it's good if we let a couple survive, so we can show the example out there of how not to do things, how not to live. And this is one of them, for sure.
I reiterate what I said earlier. I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Oh.
I do.
It's better than what it was. There is, and that's something I remember before.
I just want less people.
Well, what'll help happen with less people? You just need to educate more. Because then birth control will happen.
Well, it's easier
more.
when there's less.
Mm-hmm. Educate. Education brings about birth control. Education supersedes religion almost always. So we just have to keep educating people on that front. But yeah, don't give up on the planet, Adam. I just sing my little, I'm not going to live in my little bubble. People are good. They look like shit in my little bubble, but people are good. Out of 7 billion plus people on the planet, for every shitty act we see, there's 1,000 good. That's what I remind myself every day.
We got people like Warren Tidwell out there helping people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Going to
we
Ghana
have people like my buddy. He travels and he helps educate people, and it's so wonderful what he does. So, and if you can be one of those people, it helps too, because you're leaving that message on other people, and then they will at least pay it forward at least once. So to me, it's worth it. So don't give up on the planet. Don't do it.
I'm gonna give up on Uranus.
Jesus.
No, wrong planet. Sorry, wrong planet.
We're just gonna fucking move on.
Yeah, let's go to something a little fun and surprising that I didn't hear about. We'll let Joe lead in on this next one. I think you all like it.
Alrighty. Peace out, guys. Hey, boys and girls. I know we've had a pretty rough night, but I thought I'd leave us on a lighter note. There's a rumor going around that Mel Gibson wants to do Passion of the Christ 2.
Cha-ching.
Which, yeah, of course. No, it's about the faith. And the internet, it's a beautiful thing, and people are awful funny. So I thought, let's think of, clever titles for the new sequel or prequel. Any way you guys want to roll with it. Anybody have any ideas?
I was thinking...
This could be fun.
Passion of the Christ 2, Zombie Resurrection. It would be a zombie...
Yes!
It would be a zombie movie about Jesus. The stone rolls away, and Jesus is a zombie, and he eats Mary's face, and then the other Mary's face. And
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Bath salts,
I would watch
Florida.
the fuck out of that movie. Not even lying. How about Passion 2? We ain't crucifixing around. And then he goes on a murder rampage to kill the Jews that had him killed.
Yeah, there
Rambo.
you go. Or Passion of the Christ 2. Ain't no hole like the glory hole. And he's at the supper that he goes to after he's resurrected, and Thomas wants to look at his hands, but Jesus makes Thomas fuck the glory hole in his hand.
God, I have the weirdest boner right now.
Well, I was thinking you could do something along that lines, but I was going to call it Passion 2, 2 Fingers Deep. And it kind of be along the same lines.
Oh.
We'd find out why we really have a doubting Thomas. It'd be total.
I was thinking more along the lines of a Trent Reznor and General Jackson type of thing, where 9 Inch Nails meets Old Hickory.
Oh, my.
Oh, God.
That's fucking brilliant.
Oh, gosh.
Suck it, Andrew.
Passion 2, getting your nails did.
Would Angela Johnson be in that one?
Oh. And Bon Qui Qui.
Yeah, Bon Qui Qui. Her pretty
Or,
nails.
let's see, what else? Passion 2, Mary, Mary, why you bugging?
Yeah,
There
right?
you go.
It's the Mary story. Or it could be, we could do this for a minute. Passion 2, Judas was right.
Passion 2, your next cigarette can hold on for just one more minute.
Passion 2, the weirdest hand job you've ever gotten.
Passion 2, that's not a spear in your side.
It's a spear in your side, or are you just happy to see me?
Yeah.
You saw Roots this weekend, didn't you?
I saw that it was on. I didn't watch it.
Passion 2, rub my resurrection.
Oh, a little Jesus for your hole.
How about Passion 2? Even Jesus doesn't want to live on this planet anymore. I think it's self-explanatory because he didn't stay much after he.
Oh, bravo!
After he showed up, he's like, "I'm out. See you."
Bravo.
After he came back.
Passion 2, that dickhead Thomas.
Yeah. Keep going back to Thomas.
Nobody doubts me, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
That's all I got.
Passion 2, me so horny.
Oh, jeez.
Passion 2, I said I hate figs. Be like Passion 2, the passion of the Chris.
Oh, jeez.
Passion of the Chris.
It's Jesus and his lover.
Mm.
Did you say Passion of the Cyst?
No.
Oh,
That would be
I
a
would
good
totally
one.
watch Passion of the Sith, though.
Passion
That'd be
of the
amazing.
Sith, yeah.
Instead of a double-handed lightsaber, it's Darth Maul, and he's got a double-headed dildo. Oh, I'd watch the fuck out of that. Bend over for the dark side. Sir, he's circling around Uranus.
Dear God.
Yeah, if I had $1 billion, we'd do that.
We're just going to
Right.
fucking move on.
Yeah, I think we just hit that point. We're like, you know what, guys? It's time to not be us anymore.
Time.
Well, sorry to bum you guys all out tonight. It's been a fucking shitty week. People suck.
But you know
But
what?
not
Next
everybody.
week, I bet we'll have something great to talk about, like how people are coming through this and maybe, having conversation finally instead of just reacting, which will be good. So I'm sure we'll see some good headlines.
And if you want a good pick-me-up, check out my Facebook page and check out my daughter.
Yes. Gorgeous is an understatement.
Just saying, fucking.
Yeah, for
she's
looking like you,
amazing.
she's pretty cute.
Aw, please. I'm gorgeous. I'm a sexy fat man, girl.
So is
Yeah,
the postman.
Yeah, I've already got her outfits picked up. We're going to go as a BDSM Barbie for Halloween.
Oh, God. Oh, gosh. Are you going to be the one attached to the leash?
Oh, I'll be, yeah. She'll have the... Well, I have to hold her, so I think it'd be better if she was on a leash. Just, out of principle.
I don't know. See, that's not too weird, because I see kids on leashes all the time.
Actually, you know what? It'd be better if I was crawling on my hands and knees, towing her stroller behind me.
There you go.
And it shouldn't be weird, because, it's the Bible Belt, Why can't you make fun of the incest that runs rampant throughout our area?
Hey, just because you live in Kentucky doesn't mean that we live in Kentucky.
I beg to differ, my friend. Oh, that's right. You need to dress as a goat. No, it's all good.
Dude, you wear a skirt half the time. Don't give me none of that shit.
Hey, it's easy access, bro. Either pole or hole. Take your pick. Front or back.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we're going to just cut this thing short right the fuck now.
Welcome back to Unbuckling the Bible Belt. We're just going to fucking move on.
Well, I'll catch up with you.
I think this is the end.
It is. This is it. We're done tonight.
Well, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. And now, the atheist prayer.
Oh, nobody's Father who art nowhere, I know that you can't hear me. Completely ignore this prayer. Nothing art thou, and nothing will thou ever be. Jesus was just a man. A man.